Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Inside the Thrills, the new podcast hosted by your host, NewJerseyCoasters. Today, we're here with two guests. We're here with CoasterTalkPodcast, or James Barber. Say hello.
Hey, how are you guys? Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. And we're also here with Mike, or Crusader. Say hello.
Yo.
And so we're going to jump right into this. Our first topic of the show will be called Attraction Talk. There will be around 5 to 7 topics. They're going to be short, like couple sentence answers. It's probably going to take around 15 minutes for all this. So our first topic is Kennywood's 2019 roller coaster, and will it be the best in the park? So I went to Kennywood this year, and it was a great family park. I really loved the charm and atmosphere, but it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but Phantom made it worth it. And I know James goes there every year. So, James, what do you think about the 2019 coaster?
Well, I'm not one of the haters of it. I know a lot of people are hating on Kennywood for the Pittsburgh theme, but I feel like a small park like that in such a big city has a right to theme it to the sports team near. So I know a lot of people are going, that theme is not going to attract people from around the country, but it kind of will, because that team is a huge team, one of the biggest franchises ever. They're theming it to their biggest defense of all time, probably the best defense of all time. So I don't feel like it's such a bad theme and such a bad name. So that's on the name part. I'm pretty cool and I don't care. And the ride looks pretty great as well.
It's themed to communism.
Oh my. So my opinion on this attraction is it's not going to be number one in the park. And people who think that have never been there. I know everyone that says that has never been there in their life. It's a good park. I'm literally drinking out of a Kennywood cup right now. It is such a nice park. But it is a little bit overrated because people say the charm is outstanding. I didn't find it amazingly charming. I found it more like cement with nice buildings.
That's like every theme park, though.
Yeah, but it wasn't kept up well, the cement. The pathways weren't as nice as I thought it was going to be, but I did like the fountains.
I feel like that's part of the charm, is how it feels like an old park with like the cement sometimes is a little cracked.
True.
I just feel like that's part of the charm. I love the park. It's so much
like
fun.
a modernized
I like it,
classic.
I'm not trying to go out.
Exactly.
I still like the park.
Yeah, I do too. It's a great park.
And
I mean, I haven't
worth
been to
it for Phantom.
Kennywood. I haven't been to Kennywood before, but based on what Jason's telling me, I think the park sounds pretty good too. But I'm also trying not to overhype myself after what happened with Superman in 2017.
Yeah.
But as for Steel Curtain, I actually think it was okay. When I first saw the POV, I was kind of questioning it after all the troubles Gale Force had. But the theme is kind of unique because there's not really a lot of coasters that are themed to sports teams. And I also compared it similar to how they are kind of like taking notes from RMC. So I'm hoping S&S continues this trend and we'll have two manufacturers that will make amazing coasters like Steel Vengeance and Wicked Cyclone.
Yeah, I completely agree. And going off your topic of when you're talking about Superman the Ride being overhyped and I overhyped it, so it wasn't as good. I did the opposite for Phantom. I actually went on to it thinking it was going to be under my top 10, and it became my number 2. And then the night ride made it my number 1. Night rides in back row are amazing. The pitch black ravine is so cool, diving down into that 228-foot drop.
That's what happened with me and Diamondback at Kings Island.
I agree with everything you just said about Phantom, other than the fact that it's not the number 1 steel coaster. I think that the coasters that you've ridden, I don't think it should be your number 1, but it's a fantastic ride. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
There's 2 reasons why. One, I was riding with my idol, Rampaging Rex Productions, a person I've been looking up to for years on YouTube. And it was so awesome to be riding it with him and spend the day with him. So that made the park even better than I actually thought it was going to be, just because it was with him. And then my night ride with him was outstanding. I just loved the park overall, and it was a good experience.
Yeah, well, when I rank my top like 15, I have a top 50 actually. When I do that, I take into account like the experience, but I also try to kind of counterfeit it with the actual ride experience. So if I'm riding with like one of my best friends, I try to take that down and go, was the actual ride good, or was I just having more fun because I was with my friend? Like whenever I go to an Ace event, like Six Flags Great Adventure, that was one of my favorite experiences I've ever had because I was at riding the bull. But the actual park was not that. I did not find the park to be that great. Nitro was overhyped. King Ka was overhyped. Yeah, okay.
You went on Nitro on a bad day.
Okay, King Ka was pretty okay. Everything else, other than El Toro, was kind of mediocre. So the park,
most of our park is most of the coasters at Great Adventure are kind of mediocre, but
No, they're filler. They're filler.
well, B&M isn't really filler, but I mean,
Yeah.
Green Lantern's a good ride. You just
True.
Green
don't
Lantern,
give it- you
Green
don't
Lantern
give it
was.
a chance.
I got into my
But-
top 35, but it wasn't amazing.
Yeah, but other than Nitro and Toro, everything else I would have to kind of add that it is kind of filler because they don't really
Bizarro.
serve.
Bizarro's
They
good.
don't really
Bizarro's
serve a
good.
purpose like they used to when they first opened, but they do support people trying to come to the park, especially since we are the only park in the States to have an intimate prefab.
True.
Yes, but other than I think if they got rid of El Toro, I feel like I would never want to go back there. Honestly,
Yeah.
You
so,
better bite your tongue with that statement.
But if they got rid of El
what
Toro-
else would I want to go there for? I don't have anything else I
What
want to go
if
there
they
for.
got rid of El Toro and added a 300-foot tall RMC? Would you go there?
Okay, I'm saying if
Yes,
they literally didn't have anything
please.
other than El Toro, if there's nothing else in that park, there would be no need for me to go there. I would
Yeah.
not go for Nitro because I have a Polished Cherry, which I believe is better. I would not go for King Ka because I'll just go ride Top Tail Dragster.
Yeah, but you have to pay thousands of dollars just to ride it.
But I would rather go to Cedar Point and get Steel Vengeance and Millennium Force and all that. I'd rather do that than do a road trip to.
But Six
New
Flags
Jersey.
costs $70 to get in, while Cedar Fair charges $1,000 for a hotel room.
Or you can just stay at a cheap hotel, but that doesn't matter for me because I'm not
Exactly.
paying for the hotel. My parents are. But
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm not old enough to drive. I'm not old
Okay.
enough to drive places yet, so I'm forced to rely on the breakers to walk to and from the park. So that's
Mm.
my dilemma. I don't know if that's your dilemma, but I'd much rather be able to go to the park as I please.
yeah, I mean, that's I stayed at Breakers every time I've been there. But I'm just saying, you could if you needed to, you could pull like an in the loop and stay at an Airbnb 20 minutes away. And I know like in a couple years, like 2 years, I'm going to be able to drive, and actually next year. And I know you guys probably will be able to drive here and soon. So in
Well,
a couple
Mike
years, we're going to be able to do
drives.
that.
I'm already driving.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, you can drive then, so we can all drive almost.
You know what? I
so.
think I'm gonna go to Six Flags right now. Goodbye, guys.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm still here.
Okay.
Actually, sounded like you were leaving. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it did. Okay, the next topic is lightning rod now testing. So a couple days ago, lightning rod was spotted testing with some water dummies, and I hear a rumor that it's open. Thoughts, everyone? Thoughts?
It is not open, but
I
yeah,
don't
it's
think open,
testing.
but it is
It is
testing.
testing. Yes, it is testing. I was one of the first people to not see it, but I was one of the first, I think, to post a couple of days ago. I saw it on Facebook. Somebody was there. And
Yeah, I
was
saw
like,
it on Facebook as well.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook and I posted it and I was like, "Hey, lightning rod's open, testing with dummies." So that was pretty cool. I've heard it was supposed to be open October 6th for ERT. I posted that on my podcast a long time ago. For some
Yeah.
reason, like a couple of weeks ago, they just literally took it off and now it's like Wild Eagle and something weird, like a flat ride or something. So now the ERT a couple of days ago was supposed to be with lightning rod. So that's what everyone was like, "Hey, it's gonna be back open." Now we're seeing it's testing with water dummies. So I think we could see a potential reopen here soon.
We
Or at
could
least
see
next year,
reopen
at least
for
next year.
Smoky Mountain Christmas because I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that I think it is open for Smoky Mountain.
It's supposed
But
to.
unless
Supposed to be, yeah.
unless a lot of sources actually say that Lightning Rod is open or Dollywood makes an official statement that Lightning Rod reopens, then I'm going to assume that the ride is closed. But I have seen videos of the ride testing, but I've only seen that from 2 people so far.
You saw it on my story, right?
Yeah,
I saw it from one guy on Facebook, and then I don't think I saw it from you. It was like somewhere in the feed.
Yeah, I've seen it testing with water dummies, and I've seen it. I've seen some like a couple weeks ago. I saw some work being done. So I don't know what they exactly did. No one really knows what they did. It doesn't look like they replaced the entire launch. I don't know if they're just working on it again like they always do, or I don't know what the case was there. But no one seems to know exactly what they did to that ride. But
My guess
it's
is
for the best.
probably they had to. My guess is probably they had to fix the launching system because the launch
Yeah.
system is still there, and RMC didn't make the launch system.
Mhm.
It was
Third
revealed to be a third party who made it. So maybe they brought in another third party to take care of the launch, or the third party came back and they reprogrammed the launch to make it more reliable.
Yeah, those are my 2 assumptions as well. But I have not heard from anyone that confirmed what actually happened there. That's what no one like seemed to have been like, "Oh, look, they're replacing the launch right now" or anything. No one seemed to know what they exactly did yet.
They should have gone with the people who programmed Thunderbird's launch because that was
Yeah.
another coaster that that B&M didn't make the launch. It was a third party who made the launch, so they could have just done that instead of having a very
But B&M
unreliable
made the launch
person.
for that.
No, B&M didn't make the launch.
Yeah, they did
B&M
not.
I thought
B&M
people said that was their first
No.
in-house launch coaster.
No, B&M doesn't make launch coasters.
Yeah, that was not their. Yeah, that was their first like launch coaster, but that was not their. They didn't make the launch.
Well, Hawk is their first. Hawk is their first launch.
It's their first
That's a tire
launch
launch.
coaster,
I
but
lost
they
him.
didn't make the launch. B&M always uses chains under coasters. A third party is
Hulk
the one
was
who
a tire
designed the
launch
launch.
too. This is an actual Allison. So
True. Okay, next topic. American Dream roller coasters take new heights. So a couple days ago,
Yay!
on Facebook, it shows that Takabisha clone is over halfway completed, and the spinning coaster is almost halfway completed, and the mall is almost halfway completed. So, do you guys still think it's going to be opening spring 2019? Because I think so. A lot of people on my Instagram was like, no, but they're making great time, and now that it's owned by 555, I believe it's actually going to work.
I think it's going to finally open. They've come too far with building the roller coaster and the progress on the mall to just say we're going to stop where we are and we're going to go on another 10-year hiatus again. Especially if they go on a hiatus again at this point, I'm going to be super pissed because this
Me too.
coaster and the mall is going to be my ticket to a off-seasonless winter.
I know, right?
yeah,
We're no longer going to have an off-season, but I think I'm going to drive myself into
America.
that. No, iPlay doesn't compare to the thrills that a Takabisha clone and a spinning coaster
we have
offer.
SPF spinners have laterals.
The world's best spinning coaster. How did that not make golden tickets? Let's ask that question. How did the Freedom Rider not make golden tickets?
Golden Tickets has Phoenix's #1 Woody. Do you really think they're smart?
yeah, that was one of the dumbest things ever.
I know, El Toro or Voyage.
Or lightning
We
rod.
could have gotten another pin.
Lightning Rod, yeah, true.
Yeah, I think. And, well, if we're going, I don't know what we're going to talk about here, but I think the mall's going to open. And if we're talking about the Golden Ticket Awards, yeah, we can go on a rant about that if you want.
No, we're talking about the mall.
Okay, so I think the mall will open here soon. I mean, when it's supposed to open, I don't think they're going to go on another hiatus like they did. It looks like, yeah, like you said, they're making some good progress. I think it'd be kind of dumb at this point. They've probably wasted a lot of money to just stop.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the next topic. Kentucky Kingdom announces the largest family wooden gravity group coaster to open 2019. Kentucky Flyer.
This one I'd like to make a special statement for. So
okay, go ahead.
How do you go? So you just managed to make this ginormous comeback after nearly having your park destroyed by the government. And you open up with the standard animating tool that most theme parks use. And then Storm Chaser comes along and you use No Limits. Now, okay. I'm a guy who uses No Limits. Most of my coasters I design, they're made out of No Limits, and I actually take the time to do them. Kentucky Kingdom, they didn't even take the time to install those square frames that support the inversions on Storm Chaser. And then the best part of the announcement is I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking it's good, and I'm reading it. I'm like, this is going to be a wacky taxi kind of ride. And the next thing I see these cartoonish-like planes. I'm like, did they seriously go to Planet Coaster when they designed this? And then next thing you know, I realized I can't believe they went with Planet Coaster. Of all the simulators they could have used, they went with that one. And they have No Limits too, so why would they even resort to it? That's the better question.
I don't care. I don't think they care. I think that's the answer to that question. I don't think they
know
care.
They're gonna get the guests either way.
Yeah, they're not like, hey, what do the enthusiasts want us to do right now? Edgar could probably give one crap less about what we think. That's why, I mean, when like Theme Park Crazy and all that, they're defending the Planet Coaster choice. I think I like Planet Coaster better. I know I'll be like, hey, you're not an enthusiast. You don't like the best game. I like Planet Coaster better. I did a poll with my podcast. I think it's a much better. I mean, No Limits isn't really a game; it's more of a simulation. But Planet Coaster is actually a game.
Is way more professional.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot more professional. You do a lot. I mean, you could definitely make better coasters. I don't think that's the argument I'm trying to make. But I like that.
If you're trying to present a ride, you want to try and present it as accurate as possible. I mean, like Twisted Cyclone. Twisted Cyclone is an exception because RMC knew they kind of messed up with the ride, so they added that extra amount of track length to give it that airtime it has now. But if you're trying to make your coaster as good as possible, if you have no limits, you're not going to use Planet Coaster, because I've also designed stuff in Planet Coaster, and it's kind of hard to make the turns smooth in Planet Coaster, and it's also pretty tough to make simple inversions like corkscrews and loops in that game. While in No Limits, you can very easily make that kind of stuff. So if it was me, I would have made Kentucky Flyer and No Limits too for them. But of course, I would even do it for free for them. But that's just my own opinion.
Well, my opinion on the actual rock is I don't think. I mean, many people don't really care about the animation. I know, like, some of the Deep Coaster boys are getting upset about it, but I think the ride looks fantastic. I think it looks like a really great addition. I know some people are saying they don't need that kind of but they kind of do. I mean, they don't really have.
They only have one family coaster.
Exactly.
They only have the Thrill
coaster.
Exactly. They needed something like this. Definitely fits. I mean, it could have been, any other kind of family coaster, but I think this is definitely a great option for them.
And this is going to have lots of airtime. It's going to be perfect.
Yes. It's going to be. I think it's going to be like Oster's Recto Taxi, a ride that enthusiasts will love and kids
and families alike.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Next and the last topic for Attraction Talk is the biggest one I saved for last: Hershey Chocolate Town. Holy crap! Why are they getting two hypers? Why do they have two hypers? That's the question.
I'm actually really excited for this because I'm finally getting a new B&M in my region, especially with, like, I noticed that Banshee and Fury, they have new type of brake pressure sounds that the friction brakes make, and I just really like the sound that they make. But as for the hyper, I've actually took the time to design it in No Limits 2, and I plan on airing it soon. But I actually think it's actually going to be pretty forceful. We're going to have a Mako of the Northeast, and that has me really excited as well.
Oh, so I was gonna say, I think for some people it might be the best coaster at Hershey Park.
I kind of think it will.
It is.
I know a lot of the Intamin fanboys and all the people that think Skyrush is the greatest roller coaster of all time, which is definitely not, are going to be like, what are you talking about? The B&M's no way. That's going to be so forceless. Floater airtime can't beat ejector. But yeah, I did not think Skyrush. It's barely in my top 15. But I mean, it's a great. I think with the definitely, I know the big thing is the restraints. Different restraints would be better.
Exactly.
But
when I rode Skyrush, I thought the ride was actually really forceful, but the restraints were kind of bad, and they took away from the ride experience.
But still, we all gotta agree, Superman the ride's restraints are the worst.
No, I say Skyrush are much worse than Superman's. Yeah, Superman.
No,
yeah.
Superman's
I've ridden both.
worse.
No,
I don't agree with that. I've ridden both too. What?
True.
Okay. I do. Skyrush's restraints are just god awful. I literally lost circulation in my legs. Superman the ride I could enjoy still. That's further up in my rankings.
You can't enjoy Superman because it takes away from the ride experience. No, here's the difference between. No, here's the thing. The difference between Superman and Skyrush. Skyrush, you can still feel something on the ride, even though it's painful. Superman, you can't feel anything. If you get stapled or you let the restraint staple you, you're not going to feel anything on that ride. It's completely forceless.
Skyrush forceless, but no air.
I don't agree with anything you just said. It definitely was forceful. It had ejector.
Do not make me pull up my video. I had to make a video. Just because so many people kept asking me, why do you hate Superman? Why is Superman ranked so low in your list? And I'm like, boom, I just made a video. Go ahead and watch it and you'll see what it is. Even though I just wrote it.
Let's move on.
I just wrote it.
Let's move on.
Yeah, this is clearly turning into another debate.
Yes. Okay, we're going on to the
That'll be the next weekly question.
Yes. No, we're going on to the
Superman the ride sucked.
We're going on to the MCBR right now, and this is when we're going to be talking to our guests personally. So first, I want to ask James this: what are your upcoming trips? Do you have any?
Well, I just went on kind of my last trip of the year. Well, outside of the Virginia State, the Six Flags over Georgia. So that was awesome. But I just went to Kings Dominion actually yesterday, and this weekend I'm going for another Ace event called Thrills in the Hills, where we're gonna get some ERT on the haunted houses. We're gonna get ERT on Twisted Timbers. So it should be fun. Yeah.
Lucky. I'm gonna rephrase the question. What are your plans for 2019?
Okay, 2019. I actually have an entire list. So Mike, you can go, and I'll literally pull up my list and tell you guys here in a sec.
Okay, Mike, what are your 2019 plans?
Nothing is set in stone right now because I just had a major trip this year. Like the coaster ordinance that I kept teasing on my Instagram page, but as of right now, nothing's really set in stone, but I'm definitely trying to go back to Fiesta, Texas or over Texas. because I want to ride Wonder Woman and I want to get more rides on Iron Rattler. But for 2019 summer, I'm thinking about trying to get a bandwagon to go to Cedar Point with me again because I want to go back for more. I want to go back for more Steel Vengeance, and I know my friend also said that he wants to ride it after I told him all about the ride. But the main trip I'm actually planning for this upcoming summer is I'm planning on going to Virginia finally because I really want to ride Twisted Timbers I-305. And I also want to go to Busch Gardens, Virginia for Verbolten, Griffin, and Alpengeist.
Apollo's Cherry, please.
Apollo's Cherry, it's overrated.
That's right. Best ride in the park.
No.
I've ridden it 323 times.
I've heard from people that Apollo has a rattle.
No, okay. Nitro is 10 million times worse. So
you bite your tongue.
I'm not biting my tongue.
Nitro,
I'm talking with my mouth wide open.
Nitro doesn't have a rattle.
Okay. Okay, let's move on.
I have my list up if you guys want me to say my plans.
Yeah, you can tell your list now.
Okay, so most of these are set in stone. Some of them aren't. I'll tell you which ones. So Holiday World, definitely going to Hollywood Nights. Kentucky Kingdom, definitely set in stone. Six Flags Great America is pretty much confirmed. I'll be pretty much confirmed. Michigan's Adventure is not confirmed. That's the one that's not. Dollywood, maybe. Carowinds, definitely. That's right near me. Knoebels, Kennywood, Waldemere, and Kansas Wonderland. So those are my plans for next year.
Nice. I'm going to talk
actually,
about
speaking of Carowinds real quickly, like that's actually the dilemma I've been in is because like all these rides have been not these rides, all these parks have been announcing these amazing launch coasters like Copperhead Strike. You also got West Coast Racers and
Max Force.
Max Force. But I don't know which one to go to because I also want to go to Twisted Cyclone and Twisted Timbers. So I'm thinking like I want to go to Copperhead because I could revisit Fury again. I can go to Max Force because it's a new park and also I've never ridden a SNS air launch. But I don't know if I want to go to West Coast Racers because my aunt lives in California and she wants to go to Magic Mountain as well. So I may save that for another time next summer, or I may save it until 2020 or another year where I can ride West Coast Racers.
I'm gonna quote real quick. CoasterNet update, and they said, well, they did their analysis of West Coast Racer. The entire video is just bashing that ride. It's I 100% agree that ride looks so bad for that park.
Yeah.
But they said that ride would be good at any other park in the world other than that park.
It's it's like Full Throttle. The wrongs of Full Throttle plus Twisted Colossus.
The wrongs of Twisted Colossus too. The wrongs of Twisted Colossus there's no lift tail, but there's the station you have to wait in. Oh God, it's just the ride. And they also lie in the announcement video saying it's the first quadruple launch coaster too. So that was just a schnizzy awful, and that was an awful announcement video. And I stayed up till 1 a.m. with Jason to watch that. Yeah. And I literally wanted to commit suicide after that. I'm like, what the heck is this?
Wanted to. I almost stayed up. I actually stayed up waiting for the announcement, and then when they announced that it was going to be delayed for a bit, I'm like, I'm just going to go to sleep and just wake up and hope that it's a Skywarp. But instead, it's something. It's not
worse in my opinion. I would rather see a Skywarp there.
No, I would not want to see a Skywarp there because if they put a Skywarp there, then that means we're going to see a Skywarp at Great Adventure. But hopefully, I'm biting my tongue on that statement because I want to see an East Coast Racers come to us or an RMC T-Rex.
T-Rex would be way better. Or even a Raptor with 5 trains I'd rather get.
I would not rather see.
No, because the Raptor has the straps, and I heard from people that the straps on RMC Raptors are actually kind of painful.
If you pull
they also said that RMC is working on a solution to those problems. So
hashtag lap bar.
Yeah,
just put a lap bar.
Put a T-bar. Get Intamin to just put a T-bar on there.
Yeah, we'll have someone flying out again.
Yeah. T-pose on the T-bar.
But the T-bars are extinct.
Well, true, but I was just.
Oh wait, third parties are still making them for Darien Lake.
Yeah, third party can come in and do it, or just some type of restraint like
that. Where's that third party at? We need to make them a coaster manufacturer. Bring back the T-bar.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to be talking about my 2019 plans. I am going to Adventureland, Long Island, Turbulence, Rye Playland, Dutch Wonderland, Dorney Park, Lakemont Park, Lake Compounds, Six Flags America, Nickelodeon Universe, Hershey Park, Luna Park, maybe Busch Gardens, and then a maybe Knoebels.
You're going to go to Busch Gardens, you're not going to get King's Dominion there.
No,
Yeah, you're
'cause
missing out on
King's
I-305.
Dominion's way too expensive for me. I have my dad works for AAA and can get us a really big discount at Busch Gardens.
You're gonna drive right past it. I'm telling you, right past.
I know I'm gonna drive right past it, but I'd kind of rather go to Busch Gardens in all honesty.
Okay,
I
I've
like.
established.
I love. My mom loves Busch
Okay,
Gardens.
as both my home parks, I've established that Busch Gardens is a better park. But for roller coaster enthusiasts, but Kings Dominion is the better park because you get more credits and you get a better top 3, I'd say. But the actual, I guess, the entire collection combined. I'd
Are
say
you
Busch Gardens
saying
is
that
better.
I-305 is better than Wicked Cyclone and Diamondback and Maverick?
It's better than all of those except Maverick.
Because Maverick is really high on my list. And
Yeah, Maverick is my number 5. So
Okay, so yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be going to Kings Dominion. My mom loves Busch Gardens, and she wants to go back there so much. And this will be her time. She wants to go to 2 places next summer with me and join us because she hasn't been to any places in the last 2 years. She's been working during the summer. She wants to go to Kennywood, and she wants to go to Busch Gardens. So I have to make it happen.
You're gonna be passing past 2 of the best roller coasters I'd say in the world out there, Twisted and I-305.
I'm
speaking
sorry.
of Jason's
I
plans
don't
for,
care. I don't care what you do. That's fine. I mean, I'm just saying it's gonna suck for you driving past that. You're literally gonna walk. You're gonna drive past the signs that say Kings Dominion. You're gonna see Eiffel Tower, and you're gonna see Twisted on the way. You're gonna be on 95, and you're just gonna be right past it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be able to go to Central Park Funland.
Oh my god, that's literally like
Clint
15 minutes.
Novak.
That's literally 15 minutes away. Yeah, I mean, Clint Novak. Yep,
I never met Clint, so I'm excited.
I met him like twice, 3.
I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Yes.
I am as well.
Same. I've met him like 3 times. He's a cool guy. I did an interview with him too. So yeah, he's really awesome.
Going back to Jason's plans about trying to go to Hershey next summer, I'm actually going to try and make use of my comp tickets that I get from Great Adventure because I want to try and go to Hershey again because there's a couple coasters that I missed out on, namely Trailblazer and Laugh Track, and I also need to film better off rides at the park.
You're not missing anything with those 2.
Also, I just want to mention that there is one trip that there are 3 trips I'm planning for this year. Storybook Land during the Ace event, Winter Adventure, and after Christmas time, I'm going to be heading to Hershey Park for Christmas Candyland to get some of them credits.
Wait, they don't have all the coasters open during that
No,
time
they have
today,
6 of the coasters open.
They have
The
Skyrush
best one
open?
is no.
They have
the best one.
their biggest.
The best one that's open is
Super
Super Duper.
Yeah.
Oh god. Okay, that's not awful, but still, that's not great.
Sidewinder's open. Trailblazer isn't, which of all coasters, why isn't Trailblazer open?
Why is Laugh Track open? Right, Laugh Track's open.
Yeah,
because it's indoors.
Exactly. I was about to say they did not have that open. That's so stupid. It's just like when they close Flight of Fear at Kings Dominion when it's raining. It's like what? What are you doing?
Okay, so next question is, what's your
Flight
number
of Fear
one?
Sucks anyway.
Oh my!
No, it does not. I like Flight of Fear. I rode it twice yesterday.
We're gonna skip over.
It's horrible. That is a horrible ride.
Can we skip?
The one at Kings Island's not good. The one at Kings Dominion is good though.
Can we skip now? We're not talking about. We're not talking about Flight of Fear.
We have to talk about the mediocre premier launch coasters. They never get talked about, Jason.
Stop. That's not what this MCBR is about. Okay. Question of the week. We're going to do questions of the week now. Thank you. These are the question of the week for the guests. If you could have one coaster manufacturer come back from the dead, what would it be and why? First, we're going to start off with James.
Schwarzkopf, no question.
Why?
Super Duper Looper. Yeah, I know. Super Duper Looper, Mindbender. I just read them. Six Flags Over Georgia. That was so good. So intense. The vertical loops are just so good on those rides. Very intense helix. And it's so smooth. Every time I feel like I'm on an arrow, and then the rest of the entire ride's just butter smooth. And I'm like, oh my, I feel like you're on a B&M. It's so smooth. It's just, I just love those rides so much. And I made this observation. I know a lot of people, you might agree with me here, but you actually look at the track of Schwarzkopf, it's definitely Intamin took some inspiration from that. There's no question. You can definitely see it's the same beam. The beams are they're cross beams in their rides, and the supports, it looks very similar to an Intamin type coaster. So I love Schwarzkopf though. So yeah, Schwarzkopf would be my choice.
Okay, Mike, what would your choice be?
Aerodynamics.
Why?
Most of the people actually tend to disagree with me, but I actually like some aero coasters. There's only a couple. There's only a couple aero coasters that I don't like Carolina Cyclone and then I think there's also another arrow that I don't like, but I can't name it off the top of my head.
My Anaconda don't.
No, it's Viper. It's Viper. Because, no.
Anaconda's awful.
The arrows I don't like are Carolina Cyclone, Viper, and Corkscrew. Other than that, every other arrow I've ridden, I actually somewhat like. And X2, which was Arrow's last coaster, is one of my all-time favorite rides. I can't get enough of X2. I absolutely,
I want to add in there.
Absolutely love that ride.
Yeah, I also want to add in there.
You have to ride X2 in order to understand how good it is.
Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people I know have it as one of their number one. I'm not saying Arrow is not good, but I'm saying if we're gonna revive Arrow, or either one, I think Anton Schwarzkopf was a genius. He was one of the greatest manufacturers of all time, or designers, of all time. So I feel like if we revived it in like present day, and he's somehow still alive, he would be making such probably better than like Intamin and B&M, because that literally what he did with what he had back then is almost just as good as some of the coasters that are still out now. It's in Mindbender and Super Duper Looper are both in my top 40. And for such old coasters that really, there's no Arrow Loopers in my top 40. There's no, which Tennessee Tornado is really close, but it's not in my top 40. But I do enjoy that ride, and Loch Ness Monster, but they're not in my top 40. But those Super Duper Looper and Mindbender are both in there, and those are just stronger rides to me. And I know you can argue X2, blah blah blah, is the best one that was really great, but I think more consistent was Schwarzkopf. I don't think you can argue that. My
friend Maddie, she went to Galaxyland and she rode Mindbender and said it was all like so intense.
Yeah, they're intense.
Oh my gosh, I want to go on that ride so much. I'm so jealous.
But we already have a modern day reincarnation of Schwarzkopf. We have Alan Schilke.
Not as good.
I think if we had,
how dare you denounce Alan Schilke?
I love Alan Schilke. I've met him. I'm sitting right here. I have a signed thing with his name. He's signed Grub. I love RMC. I love Alan Schilke, but I think Anton Schwarzkopf, modern day, with the stuff that they have now, he could probably beat him in like making a roller.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna answer the question now. I'd go with actually L&T Systems. I'm sorry.
Why?
I'm joking. I'd actually kind of go with Hopkins. They were actually innovating very well, and they actually started to become a good coaster manufacturer. But I'm joking about all those. Those actually aren't any of the ones I want. Everyone that I've said, everyone that I posted in chat, I left it out. I'd like to see Morgan come back from the dead.
Oh my God.
But not as Chance. Not as Chance making hyper coasters, and maybe, just maybe, being the RMC for steel coasters, Arrow Loopers. Imagine them doing the Phantom's Revenge treatment to so many bad Arrow Loopers like Anaconda or Corkscrew. Imagine that. Just imagine that.
I don't feel like you could. I don't think you could do that. What you're saying.
It's possible.
You're saying that they would basically just have to take down the ride and put up a completely new ride. With the RMCs, they can leave up. Technically, it's not at all the same coaster. They say it is, but it's not. They literally tear down the entire structure, or sometimes they leave up some structure. So with that, you literally have to take out each and every piece of track in order for it to be butter smooth. I mean, I guess you could do kind of the Arrow treatment, but even that Phantom's Revenge is not the smoothest roller coaster out there. It's pretty smooth.
No, it's pretty smooth though. But it'd be cool if they would do that, and that's why I would like to see Morgan come.
I'm sure there's a way, but I feel like it would be just a little strange.
Yeah. And I also would have loved to see Morgan do a looping coaster. They would have loved that.
Isn't Morgan still?
I feel like they would have been Arrow
still alive.
No, Chance bought out some of their blueprints, like SNS did to Arrow.
SNS bought all of Arrow.
No, they bought all of Arrow's. What do you call that?
No, they bought
the company.
They didn't buy the company. They bought all of their assets. They bought all their assets, but they didn't actually buy the company. They bought all their assets at an auction. So
no, they bought Arrow.
No, they didn't buy Arrow.
They bought Arrow as a company.
They didn't buy Arrow.
Then explain why they renamed themselves SNS Arrow for a short time.
They never did that.
They did.
They very much did. They very much did it.
I will send you a picture right now. They actually named themselves SNS Arrow, and then they changed it to Worldwide.
Yeah, they did. That's true.
But
I think
they didn't actually. They bought all of their. It was actually confirmed that they bought all of their assets. They didn't actually buy the whole company. Then they would have gained all their workers, which they didn't.
Well, the company Arrow went defunct, and then they just kind of bought into them. So
Yeah.
it was the technically
Arrow went
didn't buy them,
bankrupt.
though.
Only
Yeah, they
person-
went bankrupt, and then they kind of bought the remaining company. So they
Yeah,
kind of did buy the company.
The only person that went over from Arrow to S&S was Alan Shokey.
What?
Yeah, Alan Shokey designed some of the S&S wooden coasters.
I
And
know.
X2. I
The
mean,
company.
he also designed X2.
Praise to be Alan.
Okay, wait a second. Mom, be quiet.
Okay, so we are now heading to the end of our ride for the first episode, and I would like to ask all of you viewers a weekly question. What manufacturer would you like to be revived after some of the lists we've mentioned? Or would it be a different manufacturer that we did not talk about it? Post your comment below,
CCI.
and we'll show one of CCI is good. And we'll show one of the comments in the next podcast, and we'll talk about it.
You let me know what coasters you want me to bring back, and I'll build them. But they probably won't be coming until 2040.
Okay, so thank you all for watching. And I can't say as always, roll that outro. So as always, not as always. Okay. So everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Anyway,
How do you watch a podcast? How do you watch audio?
You watch a blank.
you
You
for
watch a
listening.
blank screen. That's what
Thank
you
you
do.
for listening.
Just watch a blank screen with Jason's face on it.
Thank you. Thank you all for listening. And hope to see you guys next week when we're going to have Coaster Complex and Great Adventure Geek on. This has been New Jersey Coasters signing off. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
You got to let it go. Let it go.